It was nearing the end of the 70s, and the times were changing. The gas crisis had hit us, and Black Monday was soon to hit us as well. Companies, for instance, like American Motors, were starting to fail, but were trying one last good hurrah to keep themselves alive. They got into what would have become later the Crosstrek market, or the Eagle-branded vehicles, of off-road, four-wheel drive ability, sedans, coupes, and wagons, which helped give birth to a new generation of sport utility vehicles for an active lifestyle. Yes, this week we're talking about the active lifestyle vehicles coming to you from the sports car manufacturers of the world. AutoLooks.net Autopod, streaming day or night, coming right at you, right here, right now. Welcome back to AutoLooks. I am your host, the doctor to the car industry, Mr. Everett J himself, bringing you all the news and all the updates about what is going on in the world of cars. Yes, keep taking a look at www.autolooks.net, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Podbeam, iTunes, Spotify, and over at Google Play to find all of the updates for all of our products that we talk about. Now, this week we're taking a look at a brand new breed of utilitarian vehicles that are slowly making their way into the world, where their history goes back further than you really think. Yes, we're talking about the brand new products from Lamborghini and Ferrari, and a new upcoming one from Aston Martin. Yes, we're talking about the active lifestyle vehicles, or ALVs, which are starting to enter production and taking over the world. These aren't regular utilitarian vehicles. No, they're not CUVs, they're not SUVs, they're not Crosstreks, and they're not crossovers. So what are they? What do you base a product like the Lamborghini Urus? Well, you got to take a look back to the late 70s and into the 80s at three companies: American Motors, Subaru, and Audi. What do they all have in common? All of them got into four-wheel drive, and all of them started putting four-wheel drive on wagons and sedans. But they also started doing it on coupe models as well. The Audi Quattro was essentially the first active lifestyle vehicle. By today's standards, it would be considered a Crosstrek. It would be the sports car of the Crosstrek world. Yes, the Audi Quattro, brought into 2020, would be a Crosstrek. But really, would it be? Or is more of an active lifestyle vehicle? Because you're an active outdoors person. You want something to go everywhere, to do everything with, but you also want something you can roll up to the clubhouse on the weekends and still look good and still turn heads. Quattro today could do that. Unfortunately, the Eagle models from AMC today wouldn't fall into the same category, whereas neither would Subarus. Those became the Crosstrek market, which we have actually gone over in a previous podcast. Have we Crosstreks? Yes, we have. But active lifestyle vehicles are different from the Crosstrek market, from the crossover utility vehicle market. They can't be named any of them because they break the mold of what they really are. But during this time frame, a little company from Japan called Mitsubishi decided to go up against the behemoth of Subaru with their all-wheel drive ability vehicles. They wanted to bring them down. And with a little driver named Tommy Mackinnon behind them, they managed to go through WRC and take the horns. Yes, we're talking about the Evolution, the Lancer Evolution. And in today's world, Mitsubishi wants to evolve the Evolution. They want the evolution of the Evolution. And after 10 Lancer Evolutions, the plug was pulled. The sedan was gone. And Mitsubishi has completely pulled the plug onto the sedan marketplace. But where do they go from there? The Evolution was a product that they all required and they all wanted. People wanted. Just like people want a WRX coupe back. But with coupe market dwindling, and the same goes with sedans, why would you jump back into it? Crosstreks are taking off, but a Crosstrek is essentially just an off-road version of an everyday sedan, wagon, crossover sedan, like anything like that. A Crosstrek is a variation of a standard product. So where do we go from here? Well, Mitsubishi has decided to go forward with the new Evolution, but they're moving it into the same category, the Lamborghini Urus, and the new unnamed Ferrari, or Puretang, as we've heard, is coming out. There's also another product that's going to be entering this as well, the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Now, the DBX, as we've actually seen from its design that came out this year, the Aston Martin DBX doesn't fall into the active lifestyle vehicles because its flavor and form put it more into the category of a sport crossover utility vehicle as the Porsche Cayenne and the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. They are essentially utility vehicles. Now, an active lifestyle vehicle is something that evolves and gives you the image of pure power and fun. The Urus is essentially just a four-door version of a Huracan lifted to go off-road. Now, Teledesign did a thing a while back, Grego, and Audi did the Nanook. Now, those products were off-road vehicles. They were sports cars built to go off-road. Now, I did a design for one of these with one of my old design firms years and years ago. You can find it actually on the About Everett page attached to AutoLooks.com. And on that, you'll find an old product I designed, which is called the Whiplash. And I envisioned this way back into the 90s. Some car companies were already looking into it. They were looking into sports cars that go off-road, but they still embody the image of a sports car. Sound familiar? Sound kind of like what Ferrari wants. Ferrari doesn't want an off-road vehicle. They don't want a crossover utility vehicle. They didn't even want to build a sedan. They built a shooting brake instead of a sedan with the FF and Gran Lusso. Those weren't hatchbacks. Those weren't sedans. They seat four people comfortably, but they didn't fall into the hatchback crowd. They didn't fall into the wagon crowd. They didn't fall into the second. They were essentially just a shooting brake. And they're what Ferrari needed to enter that marketplace, where they didn't want to create a sedan like Porsche did with the Panamera, or an SUV like Porsche did with the Cayenne. They saw how it deteriorated their brand image, where Porsche is just an everyday product now. You could see a Cayenne, a Macan, Panamera. They're all over the place. Yes, it boosted their sales, but brought down their image. And Ferrari didn't want to do this. Lamborghini didn't want to do this either, even though they created the original LM truck for the Italian military. But that was a completely different story. And if you go back to our podcast about the Urus, you'll learn that the LM was created for the military, and they only decided to sell it due to the fact that they poured all this money into this product just to have it go to waste. Very similar to what Lexus did with the LFA. They built a V10 motor for Formula One, and Formula One says, we're not doing V10s anymore, we're going to V8s. What do you do with the engine? You put it in a limited production supercar. Doesn't matter if the car just looks like a giant coupe with a massive engine. People are still going to buy it. Well, Ferrari, they don't want to go away from their sports car image, but they want to get into those clienteles. Lamborghini has a Q8 version. And remember, the Q8, the Bentayga, and the Urus are all the same platform. But what makes the Urus completely different is the fact that it's an active lifestyle vehicle. The Q8 falls into the coupe CUV marketplace only because of its main profile still follows the lines of the Q7 crossover utility image, where the Urus is the bread and butter of Lamborghini sitting underneath of it, which is sports car, which is power, which means it goes fast, and it can go fast in the sand dunes and off a dirt road now. It's a sports car for every day. It's the same thing that the Ford Mustang Mach-E is doing. It is an active lifestyle vehicle. You are an active person. You're a person that wants to go from your downtown condo to the backwoods of Banff National Park. Okay, you want to leave downtown Calgary in your giant condo, hop in your Mustang Mach-E or Lamborghini Urus, boot down the Trans-Canada, and pop out in Banff and go off-roading on some dirt trails. You don't want to take a different vehicle, and you don't want to go down into your parking lot and have issues trying to get your Wrangler from rubbing the roof of an underground parking garage. No, you want to do it fast. You want to do it cool, and you want to be cool. You want an active lifestyle. And that's what the Urus, that's what the Mach-E, and that's what the new Ferrari SUV are imagining. And Mitsubishi is again doing that with the Evolution. They're working on an active lifestyle version of the Evolution. It's not a coupe CUV. It's a sports car that goes off-road. Yes, we get at the definition of a sports car as something with two doors, where the Urus and the new Ferrari won't have just two doors. Same with the Mach-E, but they embody the image of a sports car. It has the profile and outline of a sports car from far away. So Mitsubishi wants that. Now Subaru is thinking of getting into that. They want to create a dedicated WRX ST high off-road active lifestyle vehicle as well. And with the rise of the cross-track market and the explosion of the CUV marketplace, the active lifestyle vehicles is going to be the future for one market, sports cars. Whereas saloon versions of sedans and coupe profiles of CUVs have done to the coupe marketplace, active lifestyle vehicles are going to be the future of the sports car industry. They're not just going to mold and take over the sports car industry. They're going to become the sports car industry. And even though more of us live in major cities and never need to go off-road, the light trek down the dirt road here and there might come in handy. And unfortunately, when you're out cruising in your Hurricane, or your 911, or your 458, or your 720S, you don't want to go off-roading. With an active lifestyle vehicle, you can still look good, have that same sound, same power, but you can do it. Where your Hurricane is Monday to Friday, go back and forth to the work, in the city, have fun, go out for cruises. The Urus is your active lifestyle vehicle for the weekends. It's your weekend warrior. It's where you pack it up and go away. And that's where sports car industry is looking at. McLaren has considered it. Koenigsegg has considered it. They're not looking into it, but they thought of it. But that is the only way. They would need the market to explode in that sense to even get into it. Where Lamborghini has gotten into it. Ferrari is building a product for it. Ford did it with the Mustang. Lotus is looking to get into it and bring back their old SUV. Lotus wants to get into active lifestyle vehicle. Porsche is now considering it. Now that they created the Cayenne Coupe, they're looking at it and said, whoa. Maybe we need to get into this marketplace as well. Even though we're tied to Lamborghini, thanks to the Volkswagen Auto Group, maybe we should be getting into this as well. And the company that really put this market on the map was the Locomotors Rally Fighter. It never blew up the way it was supposed to. It is an active lifestyle vehicle because it actually has 2 doors. It is a sports car you can park in your driveway and people will look at it and go, that's a neat looking truck, car. What is it? It's a Locomotors Rally Fighter. It's your active lifestyle vehicle. But the only problem that one had is it came from a smaller company and it only had 2 doors. Whereas the Urus has 4 and seating for 4. Yes, we've come a long way from the late 70s. And when you consider where the Quattro originally started from and what an Audi is considered doing with the Quattro again, we can see the future of where the active lifestyle vehicle will become the new form of sports cars from now on. This is Everett J taking a look back at the active lifestyle vehicles that are changing the world of sports cars for all of us for the betterment of our active lifestyles. And ALVs are going to be the future of what we see coming to the auto industry, whereas the electric and fuel cells are now going to be taking over for powering sources, where CUV coupes are going to be taking over for the coupe marketplaces. The active lifestyle vehicle is slowly going to become the future of the sports car industry. It may not take over where a 2-door sports car for the ground has completely been there for us. No, it's going to be that added bonus we all need. So from all of us at AutoLooks.net, we have to say is just keep following our page at www.autolooks.net and all of our feeds at Spotify, iTunes, Podbeam, Google Play, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and occasionally on YouTube. And you can find what you're looking for. We will look at this industry and see where it goes and how it is going to change us for the future. So I'm Everett J saying to strap yourself in for one fun, wild ride from AutoLooks.net in the active lifestyle vehicles of the future.